Good morning, everyone. Rise and shine and say hello to Rocco.
Hi, Rocco Gibson here.
Recording artist, chef, yoga instructor, and he's showing us how to start the day on a positive note. And while we're hanging out with Rocco, get ready for a dose of healthy vibes for mind, body, and spirit.
Voila! And then you just dip and you enjoy. There you have it.
Hi guys, I am going to read verse 31 of Stephen Mitchell's The Tao Te Ching. Stephen Mitchell is the one who adapted this particular version, and it has to do with war and it has to do with fighting. And I love this because it helps to give me greater perspective on a person who I might be fighting with or in battle with, whether it is a family member, whether it is someone who happens to have a different political view, and there are people who are at war with each other over this, and that's not a judgment, but that's an observation. Weapons are the tools of violence. All decent men detest them. Weapons are the tools of fear. A decent man will avoid them, except in the direst necessity, and if compelled, will use them, but only with the utmost restraint. Peace is his highest value, and if the peace has been shattered, how can he contest? I love this next part. His enemies are not demons. We all need to hear this. His enemies are not demons, but human beings like himself. He doesn't wish them personal harm, nor does he rejoice in victory. How could he rejoice in the victory and delight in the slaughter of men? He enters a battle gravely with sorrow and great compassion as if he were attending a funeral. Now, if anybody needs to hear this verse, it's me, because with all of the venom going around, it's very difficult not to start pointing a finger, start judging, start, becoming a part of the fight. What this is saying is that fighting sometimes is absolutely necessary, because he does say that the master will use the weapon if necessary. However, he takes a compassionate approach. As me, especially being fully blooded Italian and an Aries 1, I do have that fiery fighter quality in me. And many times, if that person is tailgating, it's difficult for me not to want to tailgate them back. There's that thing that rises up in me that wants to say, well, who do you think you are? The master actually takes a breath and doesn't do that. The master puts himself in the other person's shoes. Like he says, he doesn't view his enemy as a demon, he views his enemy as another human being. I need to do that. I think this is a great verse. I love this, and it's actually helped me to be more compassionate to the person who's tailgating, to the person who has, for lack of a better term, effed you over. It applies to, the scam artist who is trying to take from you. You have to guard yourself, and you do have to fight. You have to have your armor, and you sometimes do need to put people in their place. You have to. It's 2025. There's too much of a battle going on, amongst everyone. However, if I read a social media post expressing a certain opinion, according to this, I really should put myself in the shoes of the person who posted that, as opposed to responding with a paragraph of "you're wrong." So I do think that this is a great verse to hear, especially here in 2025 when everyone is at war with everyone else. I think in order to work with that, you just need to take the warrior stance. Be ready to fight when you need to, but only fight when you need to, and try to do it with compassion. As opposed to what I am observing to be the norm, which is one person doesn't agree with you, so let's all stone them. Please. That's just, no. That's not the way of the great masters. And in my opinion, as someone who has been very tempted to take that stance many times out of the anger, the collective anger that's going around now, I just am more tempted now to just take a breath, have a nice calm approach, and try to work with whatever it is that I can. And it's been a more peaceful way. So I hope you enjoy that verse 31 of the Tao Te Ching. Peace. So here we have the ingredients. We have fresh tomatoes that we got from the farmer's market, a whole tube of tomato paste, a bulb of garlic, mushrooms, which the hubby already chopped them up, white wine, and that's what we got so far. Fortunately, the babe already salted the water and put that on the stove. So the water's heating up. That's usually the first thing I like to do. Olive oil. Let's add our garlic. I added a little bit of fresh pepper, and after about 2 minutes or so, I'm going to add the mushrooms. Let's just add a little bit of salt. I added the whole tube of tomato paste. Some pasta water, add the tomatoes, and what's going to happen is the tomatoes are going to break down and turn into the actual sauce. You can already start to see how they're starting to have more of a cooked appearance. What we're now going to do is we're going to crush them with, I covered this just so that the heat will intensify and the tomatoes will cook. We're going to go ahead and just let it simmer. We put the heat down to low, and now it's just going to finish up. I added some pasta water, a little bit more, and give it a glug of white wine. When I added the pasta to the sauce, the pasta was actually al dente. I want the rest of the cooking time to be in the actual sauce. At the suggestion of my hubby, we're adding some oregano in here. Can't go wrong. There we go. Okay. This tastes like something out of New York City. Whoa, holy cannoli! So I am officially working on a new album. This is actually going to be my 6th album. I thought I was going to be done for a little while after Capricorn got released, but inspiration doesn't wait, and when you get bitten by the creativity bug, you have to do it. All it took was me opening up the laptop and playing around with some stuff, and then bam, next thing I knew, I had a song. Now I have 5 songs, and so there's no going back. I have to just keep at it. So this new album, it's going to have 15 tracks, which is going to be the highest number of tracks on an album I've put out. One album had 11, a few had 13, and Capricorn, the last one, had 14. So I figure, I'm going to just up the stakes a little bit and go for something even better. And as far as the style of music, you never know, at least I never know what the album is going to turn out to be until I'm well into it, if not almost done, because you can't premeditate what your result is going to be when it comes to the creation process. But so far, this has that euphoric, dancey feel to it, but this is more percussion. This is more beats and bass, whereas Capricorn had more of that futuristic sci-fi quality. So that's what's going on so far, but I'm really excited about it. And, part of the process of making music is listening to it. You have to really get to know it and therefore assess if you're going to keep it the same, if you're going to change it. I have 5 that are at the point where it's hard for me to stop listening to them. So there's very little tweaking I would need to do, if anything at all. And when I mean tweaking, when the song is already at that point where it's good, we're talking maybe adjusting the volume of maybe, a bass track or a beat, whatever. But I'm working on it. Hello there. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about stress reduction, something that I do. It's very similar to the miraculous question, where you take what's stressing you out and you basically compare it to the most extreme version of that stress that you've experienced. You come back and you compare them. I want to tell you where I got that from, and that is from a woman by the name of Byron Katie. She has a method called the work, and what you do with that is you take a stressful thought, as we were discussing before, I don't have enough money, or I'm not thin enough, I don't have enough hair, I shouldn't be going gray, things like that. And what you do is you put it up against 4 questions. It takes a little bit longer to do than the miraculous question, but it is a phenomenal way to find the silver lining. So you do want to start by writing the questions down. You can go to byronkatiethework.com. You can look her up on Google. I highly recommend her methods. It's changed me completely. I have used this method so many times. So you take, for example, I don't have enough money, and you put it up against the 4 questions. The first question is that true? You have to become still. You have to take a breath. Your mind is going to want to throw stories in there. Yes, but, no, but. It has to be a yes or a no. That's it. Yes, no, or I don't know. And you write it down, because that's going to help your mind to stop from wandering. Question two is, can you absolutely know that that is true? And you only go to question two if your answer to question one is yes. No, I don't have enough money. Yes, it's true that I don't have enough money. So then you move to question two. Can you absolutely know that that is the truth? Can you know that that is true? Then you are going to become still again and see if that's true or not. And you may find when you become still that you actually do have enough money. You have enough money to pay the bills. You have enough money to buy your food. You just don't have enough money to go on vacation. You may find something like that. Or your answer may still be yes. You can't afford the cup of coffee. Yes, it's true. So 3, how do you react when you think the thought, I don't have enough money, and you throw an example of what that looks like, and you have $15 in your bank account for the next few days before your check comes in. So what is that going to do to you? You're going to feel stressed. Where is it going to hit you in your body? Probably your solar plexus, probably your heart, your chest. What stories start flying in? Having to move, having to start selling your stuff, goodbye life as you know it. We all know what the mind does, and the mental movies that start coming up. So you write these things down, and you more than likely are going to come up with a ton of stress. So then the 4th question, and this is where you have to suspend some disbelief, who are you, or who would you be without the thought, I don't have enough money? Looking at your checking account and seeing $15, looking at your circumstances, the thought, I don't have enough money is not there. We're not talking about the facts or the reality, we're talking the thought. And in my experience, and I have had to work with this many times, calm, still, calm enough to start thinking of a solution. Can I call someone? Can I call up my job and get extra hours? Is there anything in my house that I can use, for example, where I could make myself a cup of coffee? So without the thought, it's going to be more peaceful. It's not going to change your circumstances, but it is going to put you in more of a calm space, which is really the only space where you can solve a problem. One of the new songs I'm working on, Miss Sharon Marie, is actually a tribute to Sharon Tate. The last album, Capricorn, had a tribute to Dorothy Stratton, the Playmate of the Year who was killed, and who I always looked up to very much, still do. But Sharon Tate, sweet woman, and obviously it's horrible what happened to her. The song is actually a very groovy, very dancey, very beautiful, vivacious song, and that's why I figured, since I had a tribute to Dorothy Stratton, why not do a tribute to Sharon Tate? And I think when you look at Sharon and when you see her life, what a beautiful woman, beautiful, ravishing. I wanted to make the song beautiful and ravishing as opposed to sad, tragic. There's nothing that's not sad and tragic about what happened to her, but I want the music that is dedicated to her to be something more symbolic of the beauty that she was, the life that she was. I obviously never knew her personally. I wasn't born until 1975, but nevertheless, very touched by her, and very moved by really what I learned about her life. So this album will also have a tribute song. When I start writing a song, I never know what the end result is going to be. I literally start taking sound samples, putting them together. I start with either an instrument or a beat, and I build on it until I have a song. Then I tweak it, then I listen to it, then I change it. I do whatever I need to do, and some songs I get lucky where I'll get it on the second or third take, whereas others I might have to really dissect it and really take it apart. An example of a song that I really got on probably the first take, I don't quite remember, but Leather Suspenders, which is a trip hop, kind of jazzy, kind of strut-like. That really was a matter of just putting some things together. I always make sure that I have the tune playing around the house, driving in the car, before I go to bed at night. I like to just sample it and see how it sounds, and then if anything doesn't feel right, if it doesn't have the zazazoo, then what I do is I keep tweaking it until it sounds just right. It's like a recipe where you might have to add a little bit of something else to kind of enhance it. So it's definitely a really cool process.
is loud. It gets clicks. It gets attention. Hate, however, is actually quite small. But love is the majority. Love fills our hearts, our lives, our everyday.
Has your skin been feeling bone dry lately? Then you need to indulge in the sensual, soft, luxurious body butters of SimplyMeAndMore.com. Natural and simply made for your skincare smoothness, with luxurious products for both women and for men. Shop now and pamper yourself at SimplyMeAndMore.com. Start your day with the best breakfast on the beach. The Bite at the Box is your destination for American comfort fare, and don't forget to try our famous hoop cheese biscuits. The Bite at the Box is open every day and is located at 117 Atlantic Boulevard in Atlantic Beach, North Carolina. To view our tasty menu or place an order for delivery by DoorDash, visit thebiteab.com. That's thebiteab.com.